We all know that डॉक्टर अनिल काकोडकर जी का वैज्ञानिक के रूप में भारत को आणविक सुरक्षा प्रदान करने में तथा अणु ऊर्जा निर्मित के क्षेत्र में अनूठा योगदान रहा है. We felt that this is the finest opportunity to know from Dr. Kakodkar about his vision for a new vibrant India, his contribution, his thoughts, his thought process. That's why we have amongst us a renowned scientist, science journalist and a science fiction writer, Dr. Bal Phondke. Dr. Phondke, along with Mumbai President of Vijnan Bharati, Dr. Thatte, both will interview Dr. Anil Kakodkar on this dais. May I request Dr. Bal Phondke and Dr. Thatte to proceed. Everybody will be seated there, I think, at their seats, or you want to? Yes, of course, sir. Yes. There is a hand mic, cordless mics are there.
You have just retained the chair, which was first occupied by none other than Dr. Bhabha. What were your feelings when you first sat in that chair?
Well, when I occupied that chair, it appeared as if you have taken a huge burden on yourself. And so when I vacated that chair, I felt very relieved. And of course, Dr. Banerjee is here. He probably will bear me out.
Howsoever onerous that burden you may have felt at that time, I'm sure you look forward to it as also as a challenge.
Yes, certainly. After all, you see, all of us, we were literally born and brought up in Department of Atomic Energy. And so there is a degree of, all of us we think alike, all of us are committed to the same mission, as it were. And so as a part of continuity, you want to carry forward the program. You of course add your own ideas, your own kind of capability into whatever needs to be done. But I think it's a continuum, and you can handle quite straightforward.
Doctor, when you entered the atomic energy establishment, that time it was known as the AET on this, through the training school on this thing. After your graduation from the VJTI in mechanical engineering on this thing, what was your exact feeling after you completed the training school? Was it of satisfaction or some sort of a fulfillment of this, or was it some kind of a unknown fear in treading a unknown path?
Well, no, actually, when I completed engineering, I certainly, in those days, getting into industry was essentially meaning either you get into a marketing activity or some kind of a repetitive activity, or at best you get into some design activity. There are not too much of new innovations, new technologies taking place at a very rapid pace in those days. I was of course looking for an opportunity where you could do new things, you could try out new things every day. And BRC or AET in those days obviously provided that environment where it's an ongoing R&D program, mission-oriented R&D program, and so you get to do new things every day. In fact, I feel very fortunate that I have never done the same thing again. Every day was a new thing, so that was good. Getting into training school was of course very exciting. It's a heavy course. I think that will be one place where I think you got to attend maximum number of lectures in 1 year, perhaps compared to any other academic program. But then I think after passing out of training school, we're really on top of the world. There is no full of confidence appeared that we could do many things. And at that time the program was in quite infancy, so the field was quite virgin. You could do many things.
After 1 year in the school, you chose the reactor engineering division of BRC.
That's right.
To work further on that. But I also remember your saying once upon a time that you insisted on a further formal course in a university before taking up dedicated training for say heavy water moderated reactors, etc. in Canada on this thing. So was it a part of your...
No, it was not like that. It was, see, in those days, you pass out from training school and it was very common that people were sent abroad for training. So, and the most common thing in those days was for young people to be sent to Canada, because cooperation with Canada was on a very high pitch at that time. I felt that if I have to be of greater use to the program, I must get into a university and get a formal education in my own field, which is stress analysis. And this used to happen in AET earlier. In between, of course, there was a kind of a thinking that emerged that no, we should really not worry too much about such training. And so that, of course, I had to do a bit of insisting on that, and luckily I succeeded.
After your master's at Nottingham on that thing, was there a further directional path before you to do reactor-oriented work?
Well, see, when I had joined as I said, program was at its absolute infancy. We had started the heavy water reactor program with Canadian help. Tarapur Atomic Power Station, which was a turnkey project, was just set up. And it was clear that a lot of work has to be done in terms of indigenization of the heavy water reactors. By the time I came back, it was also clear that we had to look at new reactor was project very much on cards in those days. Now, you want to do all this, you have to be able to go deep in design of such systems. And so with my field was stress analysis. I'm talking about stress, but you have to go deep in structure, you have to go deep in thermal hydraulic, deep in control, and so on and so forth. And I think in stress analysis did help me a lot, because you develop a proper insight in terms of configuring the system as a whole.